going to show you how to make a brush. First step is you need to start with a square canvas. So I made one that was 3000 by 3000. It really doesn't matter the exact dimensions, although it shouldn't be tiny, obviously. Here we go. Here's my blank canvas. So you actually want to have no background, and you're going to be drawing in pure white, and then you're going to draw whatever the heck you want your stamp to be. Or you can import a design and work with it here, where you just change it to be white, erase the parts you don't want, whatever. Drew this little leafy leaf. You see there's no background, and he's drawn in pure white. Just to be sure, it is pure white. Under the wand, hue, saturation, brightness, layer. Just gonna set the brightness to max, just to be sure that there's definitely no color. I didn't use the wrong white or whatever. Now that we've got this done, we're gonna export it and save it as a PNG. You click on the wrench, on share, then PNG, and save image. Under the brush menu, I'm gonna create a new brush. I made myself a folder of practice brushes, so if you click the plus here, it will give you a new folder to put brushes into, so they're a little bit more organized. And then when you're in the practice folder, click plus. So now you're creating a new brush. You're gonna go to shape, and this is editing the shape source. So this is where it will pull the source for what your brush will look like. So I'm gonna edit it and then import a photo. There's my leaf, and I'm going to click done. So this will save my edits that I've made to the shape source. The next thing I'm gonna do is go to stroke path. I'm gonna set the spacing to max, and I'll show you more about that later. Under properties, you're going to do a couple of things here under properties. Use stamp preview needs to be on, and then size will be set to maximum. So that's basically it to make a very straightforward stamp. I'll show you some other stuff that's kind of a bit more advanced, some other options. Go through these menus and you can kind of experiment with what happens when you adjust some of these things, and it shows you live how it's changing it. So under shape, you've got scatter will decide how much they have sort of turned and give you more of a randomized pattern. Scatter is really cool, because then you're gonna, like, if you want to use this to like fill up a background with like a really random pattern, like this is the way you would do it rather than drawing each one and turning them later. And then you've also got rotation, you can mess around with that. Randomized will make sure that every time you stamp, it's in a random place. So the orientation is random like each time. The other thing is, once you start messing around with these settings, there's no undo. So probably your best bet if you want to make one of these is to make your brush, click done. So now it's saved, and then duplicate it. And then if you're going to start messing around with it, where you might kind of ruin it, you can like just you can delete it. You can just go back, but you can't really undo stuff in this menu. So if you start playing with all of these things and then you're like, oh my god, what's this do? Wow. And then you're like, how do I go back to what it was? You can't. Now you have really weird flat leaves. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, we don't want that. If you do click cancel though, it will undo everything you did. So that is an emergency save. One really fun thing you can do is color dynamics. Under color dynamics, this will change what color they are. So if you've ever had one of those fun like rainbowy brushes, this is how they do it. You can mess around with all of these and just go nuts, but to give you a good one to kind of start off with, here's a couple of settings that work really well for me. So under stamp color jitter, you're going to set the hue to 42%. And then this one as well to 42% under stroke color jitter. And then under color pressure, we're going to set the hue to max. We're going to set saturation to 30. We're going to set brightness to 25. And then under color tilt, I'm going to set the hue to 31%. So now you've got these really fun ways to fill up backgrounds, because you're going to get, not only is it a random shape, you've set it to go randomly over the place, but no, it's a random color. And you can totally just go nuts with these. You can create all sorts of different, like, insane different patterns. You can just have so much fun in here creating different colored brushes. This is such a cool feature. But like I said, those numbers that I gave you at the beginning are a good benchmark for just like a fun pastel-y colored brush. So I hope that you like that. I hope it makes sense. Have fun making brushes, and if you ever want to just mess around with some brushes, you can always duplicate any of your brushes, move them into your little practice folder, and just have fun experimenting with them. You can always see what other people have done. So like, if there's a brush that you just think is so cool and you want to know how they did it, even like with one of the ones that came with it, like you're like, this water pen brush is really neat, well, just edit it and just see what in the heck they have everything set to. Now, all of the Procreate brushes have a reset point built into them. So reset all settings gives you a reset to, like, it's like a factory reset of what they designed. But you have to be careful, because brushes you got from people off the internet don't always have that. You can also say, when you finish your brush, you can sign it. You can say made by you. Create new reset point will save the current settings as the reset point for this brush, but it's just not all of them come with that by default. They really should. So if you start messing around, you might ruin one of these and then you have to re-import it into Procreate. So be careful doing that. Hit the subscription button down below.